Greetings, I'm Epictetus, and this is Epic Tech. Well, apparently after the last episode, there were some complaints about health and safety on board this structure, and I had to put in a few thousand pounds of railing. It's ridiculous. But otherwise, they would have just completely shut down the project, and, well, we got to get this thing working, right? I mean, come on, this is awesome. And I have an idea. Let me just give you also a couple of quick little, I want to show you some things. I put in, at a few people's requests, these tires to kind of hopefully help stabilize the thing as it's going up. Then there's the question of how do I get this to move from here to the next stop at a constant speed without intervention. And I think I have a solution, and it involves a lot of scripting and timers, but that's okay because, well, it requires a lot of scripting and timers as well as one other thing, and that is using this remote control block for another purpose. So on the elevator back at the stump, we had remote controls for each floor. Now, obviously we can't do that. I can't go up, 100 blocks at a time and make a whole bunch of GPS points and all that kind of thing. But the thing is, autopilot can be turned off at any point in time. So if I have a script that detects when we're in range of a connector and locks in and turns off the remote control at that moment, and then when it unlocks, turns the remote control back on again, then I only need one GPS point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into spectator mode. So this is spectator mode. F8, by the way, if you've never used it. And in spectator mode, you can use the scroll wheel to speed up or slow down your flight path. There I am. I'm standing right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right above the remote control. Where is the remote control? There it is. It doesn't need to be exactly, but if I can get fairly even, fairly straight like this, I'll try and that looks about as straight as I can get. And now I'm just going to hit the space bar and speed up. Oh, see, I'm twisting off a little bit. Well, it doesn't have to be exact, like I said. So we're going to speed up. We're going to keep an eye on the gravity. You see the gravity's dropping. And right around 0.05, it just goes straight to 0. There we go. Now, if I create a GPS point here, top of elevator. Yeah, that works. If we look straight down, should be able to go straight down and end up right back at approximately, give or take quite a bit. That's actually not nearly as bad as I expected it to be. I'm not far off. So, we can jump back into my body with an F6. And now we have a GPS point way up, somewhat close to the top. And we may have to adjust it as we approach the top. We'll get a better feel for how close we are. But it's close enough that if I turn on that remote control and tell it to go up to that location. Actually, I'll go ahead and set that up right now. So FA remote, we want, I'll make sure that autopilot is off. Good. Waypoints, GPS locations. Here we go. I want the one that says top of elevator. Add. Not that one. Speed limit, and this is where this is one of the best things right now. If I set this speed limit to very, very slow, we can increase it until we get just the right amount, but it's going to manage our speed so it doesn't go faster than the welders can weld. Obviously, we don't want patrol. We want one way. And the forward direction is going to be up. So this will keep it from trying to tilt or whatever. It's just going to go up. Now, I kind of want to test that first and make sure that we actually will go in the right direction at the right speed and all that kind of things. Autopilot. Okay. On. Do your thing, autopilot. This is me moving it, unfortunately. Autopilot's doing nothing. Oh. Okay. Maybe being in the seat isn't helping. Maybe 1 is too slow. Maybe we need to make it go a little faster. Precision mode on. On. Go. Do a thing. Does not work. Let's make sure. Okay. Control. Static grid. I need to change this name. Space elevator. Exclamation point. Okay. So FA remote. Just give me control. So this is up. I'm just hitting the space bar. And it stopped. Why did it stop? You know what? I'm going to remove all the suspensions. Because I have this feeling that they are not helping us right now. Whoops. Bye. Okay, all the suspensions are gone. We're now being held up against the tower just by a few tires. So let's take a look. I want to kind of stand down here this time. Because I feel like there's something there that's... No, there's something else getting in the way. I mean, is it this? It can't be this. We haven't had any problems with this in the past. The other thing I can do is replace those tires with blast door blocks. I feel like we've been through all this before, but we'll try it again. Why not? Okay, well, let's see what this does. Ah, that seems to work a lot better. Okay. Let's turn on them welders. Whoops. Okay, good. Okay. So that seems to work a lot better. Let's see if our remote control can actually do what we want it to do. On. Okay. And it just kind of twists around and does nothing. Excellent. Oh, our batteries are running really low. You know, I had several suggestions to put on solars, and I'm thinking that's a really good idea right now. And hopefully we can do that sooner than later. As in this very second, because those batteries are much lower than I thought they were, and I'm a little nervous now. Now, one thing I do know is that we're not going to have to worry about this whole thing plummeting to the ground, because it can't actually fall any further than the welders that are sitting on top of the tower. Okay, how did that happen? And all of a sudden it's not projecting either. Where's the projection? What changed? I'm not even seeing a projection out to the side or anything. It's acting like it doesn't even have a projection. Now rotated 90 degrees. I have a feeling that they fixed a bug that I fixed by rotating at 90 degrees. Or, oddly enough, it doesn't have any of the settings I initially had in. Cool. So, I don't think the remote control idea, autopilot thing is going to work. I've fiddled with it and tried a whole bunch of different things. I can't get it to do what I want to do. So we're going to do something entirely different. I found a script that is actually called Cruise Control. It's let's see, it's created by Zeroth Angel, and it looks really neat. So we're going to see if this will solve our problem. There we go. Generated Zeroth Angel. Check code. No errors. Remember an exit. All right. So that's loaded in there. There's a few things you've got to do for setup in order to get this to work. So it does a thing where you don't actually re-trigger the timer blocks. It handles all that for you. So we're just running the same one, and we can set this, you know, just for delay, whatnot. And it's not going to try and run itself. And let's go ahead and turn this back on, but we're not going to run it yet. We've got a couple of things to change first. I'm going to leave this remote control here because it's pointed in the direction that we're headed, and that's going to be handy in just a second. Let's jump into the control panel, and let's find that remote control. I'm going to call it Elevator Remote Control. But we need to add it to a group, and this is going to be called Cruise, not the space, Control Reference. That's going to tell the cruise control script what direction is forward. And that's important because it's not always clear which direction is forward in Space Engineers. The other thing we need is this timer block itself needs to be part of a group called Cruise Control Clock. And that's so that it knows how to re-trigger itself. So instead of... So this is similar to what I did with the auto-docking script that I did a long while back, where this programmable block, when it runs, in its own running, it re-triggers the timer block so that the timer block will then run here. So you don't have to tell the timer block to run itself over and over again. And it also means it's only running as fast as it needs to run, not once a second no matter what, or once a tick no matter what. So personally, I think it's a little more efficient, and I think I'm going to leave it that way. The next thing we need to do is, let's hop into the seat here, PB Cruise, and we're going to run this with a command. We're actually going to need two of these. The first command is going to be cruise, space, and the speed we want to go. And I think we figured out that 2 was just about right, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to add in another one, and this one's going to be cruise reset, which basically stops it. And I think that's going to work. All right, the batteries are at least at 3/4. So I say we give this thing a shot. Turn on the welders. And if I'm not mistaken, we can hop right back out and just watch it go up. Look at that. It's going on its own. 100% automated. Oh, wait, no. No, we are definitely not at 100% automation yet. But this part's completely automated. That's neat. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to do is hop in here and turn the connector on. I want to see if this works. I think it will. I believe, I hope that the magnetic force of the connector will be strong enough that when it gets up to that point, you know, where they're actually connected or near each other, it should override and it won't be able to have enough thrust to go past that point. Okay, here comes that connector right there. Oh, just barely finished it. Can I stop it? Oh, yeah. It was strong enough to stop it. And we got our next projection in. Let's run back over here. 2 should stop the cruise control. 4 turns off... Nope. 3 turns off our welders. 8 locks in. And we are locked. Beauty. Now that should go ahead and refill. It did. Okay, now the other thing I want to do is make sure that the projector's actually on the right side of the tower. Because, oh, yep, it is. It's good. I don't know why it did it that one time. It just rotated 90 for no apparent reason. But all seems okay now. Okay. So now the next thing we need to do, now that we've got that part working, is we need to get this thing to do all of what I just did automatically. The first thing we need to figure out is when to release the connector. So I think I'm going to use my good old visual scripting tool, Visual Script Builder, to check and see, A, if the batteries are completely full, and B, if the cargo container has, let's say, 16,000 iron. And if there's 16,000 iron in there, that means that it's gotten its delivery and it can continue on. So if we get to a point where we're no longer, you know, if we're out of range and it's unloaded the base down there or something crazy like that, at that point it won't be able to put the 16,000 iron in the container and the script will never trigger again, thereby leaving it where it is, and we'll be able to figure that out. I just noticed that we're actually getting up to the point where it's low oxygen. It's awesome that I would even have to worry about that. I love it. Okay, so let me go see if I can throw together a quick script. Okay, I think I've got it all figured out. So we're going to need another programmable block that I can't set down. Okay, put it there. And we're going to need another timer. PB disconnect. Visual Script Builder. By the way, new version out, and it's a lot more efficient and all kinds of great things. Happy about that. So it's running. And it disconnected. Hooray! Okay. So we're going to have another script that runs as we're going up that will look for this connector being connectable and automatically connect and then trigger that one. But for now, what I want to do is I'm just going to go ahead and manually tell it to go up, and then we'll turn on the connector. And we'll get ourselves another 100 blocks up. Which, by the way, 100 blocks is 250 meters, or a quarter of a kilometer. So 4 of these is another kilometer up. And here comes the sun. Excellent. Okay, while that's going, I'm going to start setting up the next part of the script. Well, that didn't take long. I'm actually already done. So this one is super simple. And all it's going to do, we can put that one, we're running out of space. We'll put that one right here, I think. A really simple one. This one, you can see, that's all there is to it. All it does is look to see if that connector is connectable, and if it is, it connects it. Simple as that. So check code, okay, remember and exit. And honestly, right now we can just hit run, and we're instantly connected. It's kind of the point. But we're going to go ahead and... Oh! Neat! That was, it automatically recharged and did everything it needed to. Nice. Okay. So this block here, we can just add the PB Connect and have it run regularly as well. And we're most of the way there, honestly. We just skipped that stop. Why did we skip that stop? We shouldn't have skipped that stop. Is it because we're only running once every 10 seconds? It is, isn't it? But why was... Thrusters weren't able to get past before. Hang on, I'm gonna have this run every second. Run every second. I mean, unless it locked and unlocked right away. How are the batteries doing? Batteries are doing fine. Uh-oh. Oh. No. Oh, dang it. Stupid guardrails. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hang on. Okay. Let's come right back down. With that problem. Oh, look at that. How did we end up at 90 degrees again? Why does that happen? I do not understand. Craziness. It's never simple, is it? I could solve this problem by trying to make sure that that thing never rotates again, but I don't feel confident that I can do that. It randomly rotates, and I don't know why. Like, it shows up on one side, and the next time it shows up on another side. Instead of trying to deal with that, I'm just going to put 3 more connectors on this thing. I mean, that just solves the problem right there, you know what I mean? Well, it's a little bit hokey, but I think it'll work. I connected up to the welders up there, and then put the blast door blocks on. Of course, a different orientation. But I got a minor problem. The location for this connector would be right where that thing is there, so we need to move that. Kind of thinking that I want to put it right here. Just a couple blocks down. Should be about the same. What is going on? Things are acting really weird. That is really weird. I think I'm going to have to configure this after it's disconnected, because that's just doing bizarre things right now. I think that we're getting to that point where it just does not want to deal with the distance. Let's just move forward a little bit. Oh no, I'm connected. Can I not move at all? Oh, that's a reload right there. Yeah, this is bad things happening. Bye. See ya. It was fun knowing you. Shall we watch the crash and then reload? Yeah. Oy. Oh, that was great. Anyway, reload. That actually looks really cool. Oh, I just remembered something. I haven't named the connectors properly. So, I need to turn off that, do that. So, I have to name them all elevator connector. Well, all meaning... There we go. We only have 2. That's okay. As long as it has the name elevator connector in it, it'll connect properly. So, go. Should be locked in now. We are not locked in. Why are we not locked in? Oh, because... Right. I updated the script, but I didn't actually load the new script in. That should do the trick. Are we connected? We are connected. Now, also... We've rotated 90 degrees again, haven't we? No, we haven't. Nice. Okay. So we can do one more, and the next one should be completely automatic in theory. Every single one of these, I think, is going to be completely perfect, and it's not. All right, so we're going to go for that's on. We need cruise on, and let the timer go. It should see that this has what it's got. Oh, this hasn't been loaded yet. Are we finally out of range? We may finally be out of range to get stuff. Okay, it's too complex. I know that sometimes this happens, so I'm going to go ahead and recompile that. Will that gave us our stuff. Are the batteries not there yet? I think it's disconnect is this one. Did that, for some reason, that didn't run? Maybe I hadn't... Oh, this what hadn't been actually triggered for the first time after the signal. That's what it was. Alright, we're getting closer. Maybe the next time. That's just too cool. It looks like we've gotten up to 2 kilometers. Gosh, it's hard to tell from here. It looks 2.5 kilometers, something like that. Somebody said, well, if you go a kilometer every episode, it's gonna be 40 episodes. Like I said, though, even if I just had to press a button each time, it could go pretty quick. There's not a whole lot more to do before we get to the top. So let's see. If I just hit unlock, did that just relock? So the script is running, but it doesn't think that it should be unlocked. Well, that's strange. Wow, I can't hold on to that. Like, it won't let me get into anything. Okay. Let me see if it's any different from here. Nope. There's just too much going on. Interesting. So something about the timer block is causing the weird issues. See, and that, so the timer block is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Oh, did I turn the timer block off? No, I didn't start it again. Trigger now. That should lock everything in. It did. But I'm betting that that timer is pretty messed up right now and making it so that we can't access anything. It's blinking. But is it getting its stuff? Ah, it's not getting its stuff. Okay. So Tim's probably got to be recompiled again. And I can solve that problem. I wonder if it's that Tim and this can't run at the same time. Yeah, okay. So it's just, I'm just asking the system to do too much, is what it really comes down to. Okay. So if I find the block that... Okay, we're going to get into this next episode. I have an idea for how to solve this. And we're going to get a lot further in the next episode. But for now, we have got to stop. I'm having so much fun with this, but I know that if I keep going, we're just going to spend a long time on it. That's all it is. It'll be a 2-hour episode of me figuring out all the things. Plus the sun's going down, so, there's that. Okay. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed getting up, I think we're at like almost 3 kilometers now. Not quite. Let's see. Did we rotate? We did. We rotated this time. Because why? I don't know. We just randomly rotate 90 degrees every once in a while. If you've got an idea of why every once in a while my projection rotates 90 degrees, please let me know down in the comments. If you have an idea of why I'm getting some of these weird issues with the programmable blocks, go ahead and put those in the comments as well. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit that little alarm bell, and as always, I'll see you next time on Epic. That is, of course, assuming I don't fall all the way down there. I'm glad to see you.